This next story here is very, very interesting. It might seem like small potatoes to all of you, but I think it says some really, really big, profound things going on within the company right now. What I'm talking about is this little update. Again, you might have missed it. I think it's really, really big in scope. This from Disney Scoop Guy. The Davy Crockett's Explorer canoes at Disneyland are no longer running Monday through Thursday and are exclusively running Friday through Sunday until the week of October 6th when they return to their normal operating schedule Monday through Sunday. Well, you might think of that and go, well, it's not bad. What's the harm there? But think about what is also happening at the Disneyland Resort. We just covered the biggest wage theft settlement in California history, $233 million going towards 50,000 current and former cast members at the Disneyland Resort. We talked about how they're cutting back hours to 11 p.m. instead of midnight. They're making all of these adjustments to the operations to the Disneyland Resort, in my view, in order to account for, one, the tremendous losses that they are suffering, especially within that settlement, but two, because of diminishing business and really, honestly, bad decision-making, as I point out right here. How many other attractions will become weekends only to save on operating costs? This isn't the move of a thriving business, and when combined with the recent string of embarrassing entertainment stories, it's just one more sign of poor management and bad decision-making. Guys, I know you Walt Disney Worlders have lost forever, not just the possibility of the canoes returning, but also to the Liberty Bell and the Rivers of America as a whole. When you see something like this kind of these operational changes that make attractions only available on the weekends, what does that say to you, no matter how small it might be?
They're cutting employee costs pretty easy. I mean, that's like I think of my own experience as a cast member, Walt Disney World. There were locations, everything changed after we came back, right, from the closures. And the location that I had previously worked at, that was open 7 days a week, is still now, since the reopening, only open 5 days a week. And it's a really nice destination style restaurant at the top of the Grand Destino Tower. It's got beautiful views of all of Walt Disney World. You can see the fireworks from up there, from the Magic Kingdom, from Epcot, and when they had them, Hollywood Studios, and you had really good. I mean, the view from up there is gorgeous. The meal is great, and yet it's only open 5 days a week. And it's not just that. I think last I checked, Hoop to Do Review is still only open 5 days a week. So these and that's an operational cost where you're paying the kitchen staff and all of the but also all of the cast of the show, and anything where they can find, okay, if we reduce the hours here, we cut this back. This is how many staff that we don't have to pay multiplied by hours, and bing, somebody's crunching those numbers, and that's what they came up with. It's just math.
I think you're exactly right, Ron. I mean, I look at the amount of cast members it actually takes to run something like this, and I have to presume that it's not the highest capacity attraction available, and with the amount of cast members that it takes, because it takes two per canoe, one to kind of drive and one to steer in the back right there. And I think about the loading station, how you have to have a myriad of cast members in order to service an attraction like this. It makes sense to me why you would cut back in this way and why you would choose this attraction specifically. That being said, though, there is a certain amount of operating costs that comes with running a Disney theme park, right? There are just some things you just are not going to do in other theme parks because they either can't afford them or they are marketed differently to a different demographic. With Disney theme parks, they're just going to be things that maybe don't make sense on paper, maybe don't make sense in a spreadsheet, but are absolutely part of that Disney experience. This was a Walt original right here. This was. And when Walt Disney was carving out like the plans for Disneyland, there were a myriad of experiences that were extra costs that all of the experts said, flowers, people are going to trample them. That doesn't move the needle. That doesn't sell tickets and so forth. All this extra stuff that he was told that was a bad idea. He believed differently and actually got confirmation, at least from them and their business practices before. Marvin, what say you?
I mean, look, when you start closing down things like this, my immediate thought is, one, things are not going well and you have to lower operational costs. Maybe the demand isn't there during the week. But two, look at what this is. the Davy Crockett canoes. You know the Stories Matter department finds Davy Crockett to be problematic. I guarantee it. And they are probably looking to phase this out. Moving this to weekend operation only is the first step toward completely phasing it out. I think they know that they can't get away with taking out another classic Walt era attraction again so soon after the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island closed down. So I think this is just step one in eliminating it.
They could be mad at me. David Crockett is actually one of my relatives, so it's way back in my ancestry, like a 13th or 14th cousin, once removed or something.
Ron has done everything. He's been everywhere and related to everybody nowhere.
So you're Ronnie Crockett.
I mean, it's not the last name that carried on, but
it is now.
No, Ronnie Crockett.
Well, Ron is shining up old Betsy the Beck, I'm sure. No,
is there? I'm going to ask you if there's a lightning lane charge for this or available for this.
No, there's no way because it's so low capacity.
So there's no way to inject money in it. Oh, interesting.
There it is, right there. Right, it's not directly monetizable, but I do agree with Marvin. I mean, look, the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes, as they're known as now, have been the target of political correctness before. In fact, these did not start out as the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes. They actually started out as the Indian War canoes back in the day, and that didn't go well, as you could imagine, in the 1970s. So they rebranded there, and we've also seen some rebranding of some of the elements around Rivers of America, both at Disneyland and at Walt Disney World, because of certain issues right there. But I think both of you are correct. You have operational costs mixed in with maybe the PC friendly culture of Disney now, and both those things, they're looking to minimize this. I just hope that this doesn't spread, because Walt Disney World is very different. I know there are seasonal operations for especially like restaurants and so forth. Disneyland, it's not really a thing, because they really do make their money off of volume more than anything. The threshold for those per caps is much lower at Disneyland than it is at Walt Disney World. So it kind of makes sense to okay, let's not have the entirety of the park open every single day of the year. I get that. Disneyland, different story. I don't know. I'm worried, guys. I'm very worried for the future of Disney parks.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.